Jesus is the greatest psychologist that there ever was. Watch what he does. Notice he sends them out on the lake and he doesn't go. Now why? God's got a plan. So I'm going to tell you three things. First, God's got a plan, God's got a purpose, and God has a provision. So the plan was that he would send them out into the water. Did he know that in fact there was going to be a storm? Yes, I think he did. In fact, if you read it, it says he was praying for them. Well, why was he praying? He knew what was going to happen. All right, here we go. Whenever there is a storm brewing on the inside, God sends a storm on the outside. Why? Because he's the Lord of the storm. And so he sends them purposely out into the lake, knowing what would occur. And of course, I don't know if you noticed, he comes out walking on the water, and it says he's about to pass them by. Well, they cry out thinking it's a ghost, and the reason they cry out is because they think they're dead men. Now, why would they think that? Because they are losing faith. The storm that was brewing on the inside is about to overtake them. And so Jesus comes in the midst of the storm as the power over the storm to let them know that it's safe to continue their journey, their faith walk. Let me say it again. To let them know that it's safe to continue their faith walk and their journey because he's greater than the storm. So he's about to pass them by and they cry out and he hears them. And imagine this, they're all despairing and he just walks gently over to the boat and gets in. Can you imagine? They're going, "Oh, hi, Jesus. Why don't you come on board?" And in other versions of this story, he says to the wind and the waves, "Be still." Can you imagine the effect upon the disciples? I bet it made an impression. But what was it that Jesus was trying to teach? I am greater than the storm. There isn't a storm out there that I'm not aware of before it ever occurs, and that I'm not greater than when it occurs. I am aware of the storm before it occurs, and I'm greater than the storm when it occurs. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'd like you to do right now in this quiet, in this time, is remember this. I knew of the storm before it ever occurred, and I'm greater than the storm when it occurs. Will you meet him here today on the Sea of Galilee? Take some time and see your Lord coming to meet you to tell you, I knew of the storm before it occurred, and I'm greater than the storm when it occurs. Let's take some time now in this quiet on the Sea of Galilee and just meet the Lord here.